So you may be wondering how stories get on the air. I don't know, some luck involved, the randomness of life, the news judgment of the management of the station, and the reporter's interests. It's a mix of that. Because as a reporter, you're looking to cover stories that you're interested in. So you'll pitch, generally you'll pitch those kind of stories as well. And if you have a semi decent consistency, you'll get to do those stories on occasion. The problem is, to get to the stories you want to do, you have to do a lot of stories that you don't want to do. But that's just part of the game. So every morning at about, between 9 and probably 10 o'clock, in every newsroom in America, both from the networks and down to the local small market stations, they have an editorial meeting. And in this editorial meeting, the reporters and editors and producers and management will get together, and they'll discuss the stories of the day. And some of the stories come from press releases. If you're a good reporter, you're not relying on a press release, because the press release will contain usually somewhat of a one-sided perspective. You have to go out there and take that press release in and then flesh out the story, or get both sides or something. If you're going to do news off a press release, you should always do extra work. But everybody goes and talks about what's going on the day, and coming out of that meeting, you will get assigned a story to do. And if it's kind of a on scene, happening now story, like breaking news, you can head out straight to the scene. If it's a story that you have to do a little bit of more enterprise reporting, then you're making phone calls, you're seeing if people are available to talk, you're looking for experts to talk to, you're trying to set up your story, and schedule interviews that day normally to complete your story, because usually most stories are a one-day turn. And so once you hit the door running, or you're taking your time a little bit to cultivate the story, but once you get out to the location, you usually try to shoot B-roll, and you gather the elements, the sound, the visuals. Sometimes you have to go to multiple locations. You have to go to one person's office, then you have to go to another official's house and get the scene in the middle, and put all the pieces together. But you spend probably about, depending upon the day, you want to be done gathering your news content by about no later than 3 o'clock if you have a 5 o'clock news show, because you want to spend a little bit of time reviewing all the interviews and logging. Generally you can log in your head after you do it for a little while. You can sort of pick out the sound bites, as you're doing the interviews, but then you have to find them and get the time code. But then you write a script around the sound bites and just tell the beginning, middle, end, or that's basically any story. You might, sequentially tell it differently, or you try to get creative with it, but basically you tell a story beginning, middle, end. And by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, whatever time the news goes on, your story should be ready to air when the producer needs it. If you don't, it'll usually be trouble for you.